lights are out and you stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds, and when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me. Just call on me.
From Darlington Raceway, the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series is ready to take on the track too tough to tame. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Darlington, South Carolina, where the Lady in Black is waiting to strike the first driver who thinks they can treat her the wrong way. After the off week, these drivers are coming in more prepared than ever, while Norman, Oklahoma's Brandon Minto and his teammate Mike Wright from the Furta Motorsports stable still lead the way in our point standings, while Eugenio Alonso leapfrog Mikey Mack from Cape May, New Jersey to settle into the third spot. Now tonight, as we're here in the breadbasket of NASCAR at one of our most hallowed grounds, we look to throw back the paint and crank up the heat. I'm Dave Regal here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, and as always, I'm thrilled to be with you every step of the way. From the green flag to the checkered flag, right here on Sim Racing Media. And folks, glad to have all of you with us here tonight as we get ready to rock and roll at, of course, the Lady in Black here just outside of Darlington, South Carolina. 1.3 miles around this piece, 119 degrees. The track temperature, 74 if you're sitting in the stands today. And nice and cozy no matter where you are or how you may be tuning in tonight. We want to thank you for making us a part of your evening here as everything gets rocking and rolling. We take a look here at the 67 machine, and that's Sam Bolin. Of course, he was mispainted a week ago, and now we finally have it correct as we pull that beautiful beam footage up here of Sam in the lower portion of your screen. We're taking a look at him making his qualifying effort now, just about halfway through qualifying, and almost everybody has laid their times down as Sam heads down the back chute in a throwback paint scheme, obviously harkening back to the old days when we used to have the size of the V8 engine under the hood painted on top of the hood. Mike Wright here in his machine, of course, the discount tire number 98 Ford Mustang. Let's see what Gary Wright's painted like out of Pflugerville, Texas. Kind of a blue and yellow paint scheme, not really much of a throwback if I ever saw. Well, maybe close. As the Pflugerville, Texas native wraps up his qualifying effort, he goes 34th fastest. Mike Wright goes 4th fastest. Right now, your pole sitter is Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey. We're going to get a chance to talk with him. Of course, points a big deal as we come here into Darlington. We'll get that pulled up here on your screen for you. Of course, it's a Monday night, so we use a little bit of a different setup here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. I'm glad to have you with us, though, here. Brandon Minto and Mike Wright, they both still sit atop the pile out of the Furta Motorsports stable, as I had mentioned a moment ago. Eugenio Alonso from Jack Dow Motorsports, he jumps ahead of Mike McConville, who jumps down a spot into P4. Sylvain Joly, he goes into the top 5 of our points with Nick Hansen, Ethan Ball, Ron Fitting, Alexander Gangler, and Rich Jett being the top 10 of points. So obviously for these drivers, it's a pretty big deal, to come in here with a full head of steam into Darlington. Of course, we take a look at the win totals. Eugenio Alonso, the only 2-win driver on the season. Brandon Minto, Mike Wright, Mike McConville, Ethan Eckert, Bobby Blazer, Brockton Packard, Parker Retzlaff, and Derek Heitman, all with 1 win apiece. Of course, Parker picking up the win at Richmond Raceway a few weeks ago, but right now we're trying to get a hold of Mike McConville, driver of the number 1 machine, who sits number 1 on our timing line. So let's see if we can get a hold of him. As where am I going to find him? Here in the JRTCR chat. Hey, Mikey Mack, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Hey, Dave. How we doing, buddy?
Buddy, listen, I'm doing good, but you're sitting on the pole in the 1 car, so obviously you must be doing better than just about everybody else here on the track.
This was an absolute surprise. I was hoping maybe top 10 in qualifying pace. Was not expecting to sit on the pole, but man, we'll take it, especially here when track position means everything.
Yeah, I mean, we've discovered multiple times this season, at least here at Sim Racing Media, how important track position is. I mean, what's your general goal? Are you trying to come out here and, use this track position, set the pace for everybody else, or maybe drift back a little bit and keep things, saved for later in the race?
Well, we definitely want to keep the track position, but the main goal is make the checkered flag at the end and go for the win.
Well, I'm sure that you've got a pretty big shot at going for the win, as you obviously laid down fast time by 1/100th of a second over Anthony Savignano in the 50 machine. So, listen, I'm pretty sure that you've got a good chance to bring one home here to South Jersey.
Yes, sir. We got a little extra motivation today. Today is my parents' 35th wedding anniversary, so shout out to Mom and Dad. We're going to bring it home for you guys.
All right. So they were born the same year that I was, or they were married the same year that I was born. That's fantastic. So good for them. Congrats.
Appreciate you, brother, man.
All right, listen, bro. Good luck tonight, and see if you can bring one home for us.
Yes, sir.
Everybody knows that I'm always pulling for my guys in South Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Mike McConville is absolutely one of them. Want to take a quick chat here with Bennett Allen, driver the number 15. Hey, Bennett, it's Dave. You got me?
Howdy.
Buddy, listen, you had a rough night last night in the Cup Series, but what are you thinking coming in here tonight, having the experience that you do at Darlington?
Look. I wouldn't say last night was a rough night. I led the most laps. All right, I'm happy about that. I take that with pride. I just had a bad last 15 laps of the race where I got caught up in the back of the pack, and I was trying to do something fun. I wouldn't say it was a bad night. Bad finish, good night. But
all right. That's one way to look at it. Numbers never lie. You just can make them say different things.
Exactly. Bingo. But I'm tired today. I had my first day of a summer class I'm taking, so mentally I'm kind of halfway here, so I'm just going to chill, ride a little bit, and see where I finish. But
I'm fairly certain that there's a lot of people that would say that mentally you're halfway here anyway, whether you were going to summer class or not.
Yeah, that's relatively true, yeah.
So do you have, I'm waiting for you to hop in the car there, do you have a throwback paint scheme tonight or no?
Yeah, I talked about last night where I was kind of on the fence about, what paint scheme I should run. I have two kind of throwbacks. I'm going to end up saving one of them for Charlotte coming up in a couple weeks. But this is my Mark Martin throwback. I ran a Mark Martin throwback yesterday, and here's my second one. It's one of his Valvoline cars. I made it my own and running it here tonight.
Yeah, the Valvoline red, white, and blue. Of course, Valvoline, a proud partner of NASCAR over the last 35 years that I'm aware of, and, so much before. And, of course, the 6 car sported this paint scheme for years until he decided to go for the little blue pill from Pfizer, and then it got kind of passed over onto, I believe, Jimmy Spencer in the 10.
I think it was Jimmy Spencer. I don't remember. I was barely alive in that time period, so I think I was only alive for Mr. Pfizer was the only time period I was alive for, I think.
Well, thanks for making me feel incredibly old now.
I'm sorry.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, good luck tonight. It looks like you're going to roll off pretty high in the standings. So we'll see what happens moving forward.
Yeah, appreciate it, Dave.
All right, as we move him on back up here, looks like we're going to have a little bit more time here to take a chat with some other drivers. Of course, we want to get a hold of Norman, Oklahoma. Actually, you know what? We're going to get a hold of Tony Burt because I don't often get the chance to do this, but Tony Burt here in the Discord chat. It's been a while, and I'm just curious how you're feeling, brother.
Man, I'm feeling great, man. Feeling great. I am.
Now, I see the Jack Down Motorsports number 4, obviously hearkening back to the Kodak film. Whoa, dirt tracking it through. Oh, my God, look at you holding on to it, you son of a gun.
I saved it.
Is that something new that you can do with the foot?
I wish. The last race I had to use my left foot for the gas and the brake. And I've got a bar between my brake and my gas.
That was a Martina McBride song, wasn't it? Left foot down on my accelerator.
I think so.
I think it was.
This thing is loose.
The car looks great, but I wanted to know how you were feeling, and I know that we've all been praying for you and hoping for a full recovery. How do you feel?
I feel great. I'm 100%. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I leave for Myrtle Beach Bike Week. And I'm gonna play about 4 rounds of golf while I'm down there. That's how good I'm doing.
I should tell you to look up my mom, and I should tell you to look up my mom and give her a hug. It's her birthday on Wednesday.
Oh wow! You do that, I'll go by and see her.
That'd be awesome.
Right.
Oh, that's the 90 of
Bobby Blazer
taking a ride.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's only warm up.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Well, listen, I'll catch up with you after the race, but good. I'll catch up with you after the race because I want to talk to you some more. But good luck tonight, and see how you do rolling off here tonight.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
And you, sir. As we're going to move Tony back on up, and I'll tell you what, that's part of our throwback tonight. Of course, I haven't revealed it just yet, but you're going to see it right now as we pull up our qualifying order here. That logo there in the upper left-hand corner, that's our way of doing a throwback tonight here in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. That logo was originally designed by Bob Nestor for the SNN Xfinity series back in 2022, the year that Bennett Allen took home the championship trophy, and that was my first year at the microphone, and it was actually under a different banner. It wasn't Sim Racing Media. It was indeed the Independence Racing Network, and that's how this league first came about to be broadcasted all those many, many races ago. So that's our tip of the cap to the throwback week here at Darlington. As Mike McConville, he's going to be rolling off as we get up here. Mike McConville's going to be rolling off in the pole position. We see Eugenio Alonso going to be right behind him. Bennett Allen going to be starting third in line on the inside. A lot of these drivers going to be trying to get to the outside lane as, they've got to be able to use as much of this racetrack as possible. Now, with the high temperatures that we're experiencing right now, even as we look here to the right-hand side, 121 degrees is enough to cook an egg very slowly on the asphalt. And quite frankly, it's going to be interesting to watch these guys. Times are going to be slow at first. Right now, even in warm-ups, we're seeing 30.44, 30.33, and as we get rocking and rolling, once that temperature starts to drop, we'll see the grip increase on the asphalt and the speeds are going to, decrease. Or I'm sorry, as the times are going to decrease, the speed's going to increase. Zach Osborne rolling off in 12th. We see Bobby Blazer going to be rolling off in 13th, Keith Black in 18th. So it's an all but full field tonight here as we get ready to roll. We'll get this out of the way. We'll get that out of the way. We'll get this out of the way. And let's get on down here and wait for Mike McConville to hop into the car. Eugenio Alonso doing so already as we see him in the number 26. Anthony Savignano hopping into his number 50, and there's Mikey Mack. And he has decided to go with the wah-wah machine. So not only does Mikey Mack always get that little quiet push from me, but now he's got wah-wah right on the front of the old number 1. He's going to start off here on the pole position. Anthony Savignano going to start on the outside of row 1. Eugenio Alonso and Mike Wright out of Greensboro, North Carolina, they feature in row 2. Row 3 going to feature Bennett Allen and Brandon Minto in the MGD number 12, while Brockton Packard and Nick Hansen going to reside in row 4. We see a lot of really great paint schemes tonight. Michael Astuto rolling off in 10th position. He's got the Alltel machine tonight. Chris Custer back here in row number 6 with Zach Osborne in the Hellman's machine. Bobby Blazer gets the B-Blaze Vintage ET machine, rocking and rolling alongside Daniel Moynihan. Alongside with Daniel Moynihan and Ken Ron here as everything kind of shifting around. Keith Black and Aaron Mack going to be back here as well with Claude Ferlin in row number 9. Eric Papineau and Michael Witt make up the rest of your top 20. We're going to have a lot of time to talk about a lot of these paint schemes tonight. Chris Claude gets the Hardee's number 10, rolling off in row number 11 with Ethan Ball and Corey Burkett in row 12. Matt Mackin and Andrew Deemer come here in row number 13 with Zachary Vaughn and Randall Watkins in row 14. Richard Pruitt and Dan Morgan featured in row number 15, while Alexander Gangler and Sam Bolin going to be residing in row number 16. Rich Jett and John Bawalda here in his number 51. That is a sharp-looking machine for John Bawalda here, starting shotgun on the field tonight out of Bel Air, Maryland. 34 cars scheduled to take the green flag tonight as John Wilco, Brad Gunn, and Tony Burt all going to be starting from pit road. The iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. The only thing that's left to do is it's time to wipe the visor and adjust the 5-point harness. Grandma, grab the throwback can and settle in. Race fans, it's show time! And away we go with Mike McConville and Anthony Savignano pretty much deciding who's going to slide here into P1 early as Mike McConville going to take control of the field, coming down the back chute and into turn number 3. Everybody jostling for position as right now it looks like Chris Custer out of Ohio just slipped right on past Brandon Minto in the 12 machine as he has gone from Miller Lite to MGD for a change. Hopefully Uncle Scott has opened that up for a change. Tonight I'll be joining in with, of course, Captain Morgan here and his Long Island iced tea. But Mike McConville has the Wawa machine in first with the number 1 here on lap number 2 as we get underway. Already Tony Burt going down a lap. He's going to start a little bit behind as maybe he's just trying to stay out of the mayhem early on here. Of course, we'll talk about Kodak film because, kids, once upon a time when you took a picture, you had to take it to the 1-hour photo and have it actually developed. We'll talk about that later. As McConville and Sauvin, now McConville just laid down fast time of the race. He went down to 30.42 seconds. Last night it took almost until stage 3 to finally see somebody crack below 30 seconds and then get into 28 seconds at the very end of the race. So we're looking for some more interesting decisions there as Dan Morgan has the number 72 already up here into 28th position. Up now 27th position as they are just freight training what looks to be, that's not the 77, could be the 38. There he is, of Andrew Deemer. Five laps in the books. Mike McConville up here with control of the race lead, but the battle is raging behind him as we look to see Eugenio Alonso and Anthony Savignano go side by side into turn 1. Just behind here in the 63, that throwback Jeff Gordon paint scheme from Niner is the 63 of Brockton Packard. And as we're going to ride along with Brockton, we can see he's just kind of waiting out here from Zephyrilus, Florida. Zephyr Hills? I'm going to say Zephyr Hills, Florida, as he follows the number 50 Razor Toyota Supra down the front stretch. So early on we see some battling, but they've cooled that one down as, you know, maybe you get to a point here, especially, you know, at this point in the race and say, maybe I should back off a little bit. But I'll tell you who's not backing off. It's Claude Furland here in the 43. He goes side by side with Tyler Sexton as the 43 holds on to 20th position. That's where he qualified tonight. And now Claude from north of the border gets ahead of Sexton in his Chevrolet. So a little Ford on Chevy action here on lap number 8. Now, of course, we do have stage racing here in this league. We'll take a look here at those numbers. Of course, it's going to be 147 total laps. Then stage 1 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 45. Stage 2 going to end at the conclusion of lap number 95 tire sets, which makes the pit window somewhere in and around 30 to 40 laps. Now, last night we saw a lot of the drivers able to hold on somewhat for dear life, if you will, but they were able to make some of those long runs do really well for them. But coming to a place like Darlington, you can't always bank on the long run. But I'll tell you who is kind of banking on the long run right now. It's this guy right here. It's Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey, and he is absolutely setting the pace. Let's take a look here from the rear as he can look back and see Eugenio Alonso, but Eugenio not really gaining on him very much as McConville gets a great run out of turn 4 and back here on the front stretch at Darlington Raceway. Dave Riegel with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, and we want to thank you for tuning in tonight in the youtube.com live chat. As always, however you may be listening, however you may be watching, we want to thank you for welcoming us into your homes and onto your phones, as Young Camel says, what? And Dcash Videos, of course, that being Alexander Gangler saying hello. Mike's Wawa Recharger Drinks is a throwback to Bill Elliott. That's fine. That's fine. Quite frankly, I'm more excited about the Wawa anyway. So it is what it is. as being from southeastern Pennsylvania, that is our crack. Bobby Blazer now, as he looks just behind Brandon Minto. Now these two drivers going at it. Minto looks to the inside now. He's going to try to get alongside Chris Custer. So we get this out of the way. Bobby Blazer, we're going to stay right on board here with him as Minto going to try to make the pass around Chris Custer. He can't do it now. Blazer shuts the door nearly, and now he looks like maybe he can give a little bit of an arrow push here to Minto. Maybe the two of these drivers are able to work this together as we're going to watch them come down the racetrack right here and get that second run here on exit coming down the back chute. Just a little three-way battle here for 8th position. Brandon Minto, Bobby Blazer, and now we see Nick Hansen trying to mbop his way up here to Bobby Blazer's rear bumper. He's closing in ever so gently, but that 0.2 of a second gap between these two drivers isn't going to last for long, as now Bobby Blazer going to climb alongside Brandon Minto. He makes the pass and now sets his sights right on Chris Custer out of Ohio. So my fellow Pennsylvanian from York, PA, out there representing the 717 in the 90 car, he's looking to serve lunch to Chris Custer and tell him how we do it here on this side of the Ohio River border. Blazer gets loose coming out of turn 4 down the back. I'm sorry, out of turn 2 down the back chute. He manages to keep it steady. We've seen a lot of drivers having to fight that loose condition coming out of 2. And 4 last night, and there he is again. Wow, now shooting to the inside is Bobby Blazer. He's looking to get back in line. Brandon Minto courteously lets him back in. And we stay green flag racing without any problems so far. 15 laps in the books, and Bobby Blazer has a handful of race car right now. My God. Let's ride along here on the gyro cam and watch the hands here of Blazer, because he, at this moment, is just absolutely, any other time I wouldn't say this man is struggling by any stretch, but he has a handful here with this race car 16 laps in. We're here on entry to turn 3, and he is absolutely having to wheel and deal this thing to get through 3. Here he comes on exit, and he's almost got to turn right to go left. As we come through, he manages to keep it moving forward. As we see Zach Osborne here in the 16, we'll take a look here at this quote-unquote throwback race scheme. As Zach Osborne here in the Hellman's Mayonnaise paint scheme from Claremont. Now, of course, it's not too old of a, a little tire smoke there off of Bobby Blazer again. Not too old of a paint scheme, but of course made famous by Dale Earnhardt Jr. In the later part of his career, and of course many times when he's come to race these Xfinity races. And I got a chance to see, we are under caution. But I got a chance to see Dale Earnhardt Jr. race in Miami last year. What an opportunity, and literally at this stage in his life and mine, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I am so thankful that I got to do that with my friends from right here at Sim Racing Media. Daniel Moynihan having crashed here. We'll see what happened with the 53 machine. As he's, that might have been just a touch of neck code. Let's see what happened again, as it looks like he's already puffed the engine. Moynihan was loose as a goose. The 99 trying to work under. No, the 99 just got up into him. In fact, let's run this back nice and slowly here, and now we'll ride along with the 99. If we can pull him up on timing and scoring. That's Nick Hansen. We're going to ride right along here on the nose, nice and slow, as we come back here. Now, we can see the 53 getting loose here in the Cinnamon Toast Crunch machine. And as he starts to go up here into the wall, the 99 of Hansen doesn't have the chance to take any evasive movers. So it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch onto the 16. As we get ready to go back, green flag racing, Mike McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey, gets himself all lined up. Only a few drivers coming down pit road here on lap number 19. It's going to be McConville, Alonso, Savignano, Mike Wright, Bennett Allen, Bobby Blazer, Chris Custer, Zach Osborne, Brandon Minto, and Michael Astuto. When we go back, green flag racing, iRacing.com pace car lights are on. We'll get a chance to talk to some of these drivers later on in the race, of course, because it is throwback week here at Darlington. Taking a look at Ken Ron out of Dillsburg, Pennsylvania. He, of course, doesn't have a throwback paint scheme, but we got a chance to talk to Ken last night during the Sunday night NASCAR Cup Series, and what an opportunity that was to talk to him. As, of course, usually he's here on the racetrack, but last night we were able to get with him for a little while and sit with him in the broadcast booth. I'm sure we'll get a chance to speak with him later tonight, as he's already up 2 positions. Ethan Ball right now, your big mover of the race. John Bawalda, your big mover of the race, right now running in 20th position here in the number 51. Side by side they go. The iRacing.com pace car lights are out. So we'll be going back green flag racing this time by here on lap number 21. We're working our way toward lap number 45. Stage break's going to be at lap 45 and 90 as we come out of turn 2 and onto the back chute. The iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. The man in the stand has the green flag in his hand. Mike McConville brings us out of turn 4. He hits the Geico restart zone. The green flag waves and we're back underway. McConville going right from the low side to take a huge jump over top of Anthony Savignano, Eugenio Alonso, and Bennett Allen now in tow. These 3 drivers going to be battling it out for second position as we open up the battle box here. You can see that in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Everybody quickly dashing to go single file with the exception of Alonso, who is now going to be exchanging paint with Savignano as they are fender to fender coming out of 4 and back onto the front stretch. McConville, Savignano, Alonso. As we go under caution, John Bawalda, after being the big mover of the race, he may have had some kind of a problem here. Let's see what happened with John Bawalda here in the 51. He looks to the inside of the 24 of Richard Pruitt. Now, it looks, oh, he gets tight. He took turn 1 too long. Ken Ron spins him around, and that is, boom goes the dynamite time there for John Bawalda. We'll see if we can take a look at that from Ken Ron's position here. Let's see what happened from Ken Ron's perspective as we're going to ride along with him on board here on the number 33 Isaac's machine. He sees John Bawalda going for the move, on the 24, and Bawaldo just gets all kinds of crazy tight. Ooh. That'll do it right there for him. Second caution of the night here on lap number 25. Mike McConville, still our race leader out of Cape May, New Jersey. We're going to get a chance to speak with him momentarily. As we work this lap here, we want to thank everybody for tuning in as we take a peek here at the youtube.com live chat. NTS22 RIP, hello commentator. Not sure if it's me, but well, let's turn this up just a little bit and see if you can hear me better. NTS22, how does that sound? Glad to have all of you with us once again tonight. Of course, we've got 3 nights of racing here at Darlington Raceway as, the SNN family of racing series goes for the Cup Series, the Truck Series, and, of course, here in the Xfinity Series on Monday nights. Of course, we have 6 nights of racing here on Sim Racing Media. Of course, tonight here on a Monday at 8:30 p.m., you've got me here on the SNN Xfinity Series. Then Tuesdays, of course, we'll be back at the same bat time, same bat channel with SNN Truck Series Racing. Also tomorrow, the Racers Elite Series with John and Rick steps off at 7:35 p.m. And in your nightcap, and then, of course, there's also the Extreme Series at 9 p.m. with Liam and Jordan. Then your nightcap is the Western States Racing League at 10:20 p.m. Eastern with Mike and Alan Bergen. Then on Wednesday nights, the Roughneck Series is at 7 p.m. with Angel and Alan. Racers Elite back for another night at 7:30 p.m. with Mike. And then the Extreme Cup Series is brought to you live by Liam and Jordan. Thursday nights, I'll be back on the air with my good friend Daniel Paulus, another Pennsylvanian here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial broadcast booth, as we will bring you the Racers Elite Fixed Cup Series at 7:30 p.m. on a Thursday. That's an exciting night. You're going to see a lot of good racing. Of course, in a fixed series, it's more about driver skill than it is the setups, which we can get into tonight here in the M&N Xfinity Series. And then Sundays, here in prime time at 8 p.m., we're the only game in town. It's myself and Matt Mettler bringing you SNN Cup Series action. You can also tune on Saturdays for ISNF with Liam, Mike, and Alan, and then ECR with Liam and Emily. So Liam is becoming quickly one of the busiest guys in sim racing media in the broadcast booth as the iRacing.com pace car brings us out of turn 2. Everybody double filed 2x2 into the arc for Noah as we get ready to rock and roll. It's going to be McConville, Savignano, Alonso, Allen, Mike Wright, Bobby Blazer, Chris Custer, Zach Osborne, Aaron Mack, and Michael Astuto, your top 10. As Mikey McConville out of Cape May, New Jersey, watches the iRacing.com pace car dip below to make the turn down to pit road. The Wawa machine is ready to crank it up here. Barney is standing up there in the flag stand with the green flag waiting. McConville hits the restart zone. He waits, and drops the hammer, and here we go. Michael Astuto in the Alltel wireless machine here. Of course, it is, whoa, all of a sudden there, all kinds of askew back here, all but 3 wide as we get back here to the 67 of Sam Bolin, going side by side with Alexander Gangler in the 8 machine in the Michigan Tech Toyota Supra. He looks to the inside now of the 67, as both of those have been up 13 and 15 positions. Keith Black takes out the Coca-Cola machine, and take a look at this paint scheme here. Keith has got that 358 cubic inch logo there on either side of the Coca-Cola machine. That just looks downright good, as all of a sudden the 63 of Brockton Packard makes the pass on Bolin, as it looks like Bolin makes the pass on Black, and now gets ready to serve lunch to Randall Watkins, Mr. 305, of course, my brother from down there in the Miami-Dade Fire and Rescue Department, just outside of, actually, the city of Miami. So he's got the MGD 27 cranked up. There's 2 MGDs tonight in the field for Throwback Week, as Brandon Minto has gone from Miller Lite to MGD. Eugenio Alonso in the Nitro Racing number 26 Chevrolet Camaro. He gets a little loose coming out of 2 and going down the back chute. All of these drivers seem to be having a little bit of trouble here, as we're 15 laps now from the end of stage number 1. Mike McConville leads the way, as he has led every lap so far tonight. Bennett Allen, of course, our 2022 MNN Xfinity Series champion. He runs P2. He's got Anthony Savignano in hot pursuit just behind him. But Mike Wright, which of course is Brandon Minto's teammate, they're just near each other. Mike Wright running in 5th and Minto in 8th as we go under our 3rd caution of the night. Let's see what brought this one out. This may have involved Aaron Mack, driver the number 31. Looks like he is in the U.S. Army paint tonight here in his Chevrolet Camaro. Let's take a look and see what happens as he gets along Chris Custer here in the 66 from Ohio. They make a little bit of contact, and it's just enough to upset the 31, take off the nose of Eric Papineau, and there we go. Mike McConville lined up behind the iRacing.com pace car. Bennett Allen behind him. 1, 2, 3 goes McConville, Allen, and Savignano. It's been a long night for many of these drivers. Of course, Allen has climbed up from 5th position as we're under the 3rd caution of the evening here. And we haven't even reached the end of Stage 1. About 10 laps to go here this time by before Stage 1 is going to come to an end. Eugenio Alonso here in the number 26. Mike Wright, mysteriously not in a throwback paint scheme. He's usually one of the first people that I turn to because he's really good with these paint schemes. I love the 88 of Michael Witt, that Oreo machine that, of course, was driven by the Earnhardt family. A little bit by senior, a little bit by junior, and still America Milk's favorite cookie. Side by side they go. Mike McConville with control of the field this time by. And I'm glad it sounds much better. Keith Black brings the best paint schemes week to week. No surprise he has a fire throwback scheme. Let's take a look here at Keith Black. Let's hope that he's still here on the racetrack. He is in the 87 that we were talking about him earlier. Of course, you know, with that red and brown Coca-Cola paint scheme, almost looks like the old Coca-Cola no caffeine free, which quite frankly, why would you want to drink something without caffeine in it unless it's a medical reason? I can only imagine. McConville rolls out of turn number 4. He watches the iRacing.com pace car peel on down pit road. He hits the Geico restart zone, and we are back underway. I spy a mellow yellow paint scheme. Let's see who this is back here. I believe it's Zachary Vaughn in the 61. It is. Everybody loves them some mellow yellow. Of course, Zach Vaughn having a tough night here, but the opposite end of the spectrum is Mike McConville, while all of a sudden Bennett Allen has turned on the afterburners here in the late part of stage number 1. He wants to go side by side and take a fender right to the face as, my goodness, Mike McConville swings out wide, tucks in just behind Bennett Allen here on lap number 38. 7 to go at the line here in stage 1. Bennett Allen, now your race leader. All of a sudden, Mike McConville has melted here into P3. He now looks at the rear bumper of Anthony Savignano as Savignano found the way to get around McConville as he is now fading like a memory in the late portion here of stage number 1. Bennett Allen, your race leader, has hopped out to a 1.0345678 second lead over Savignano. They're still back here duking it out. We're going to go right on board with Mikey McConville as, you know, he's got to be more frustrated than a Keebler Elf getting demoted to Fudge Packer as he works lap number 40. Now he's trying to figure out how he can at least try to get up there and take P2 back from Savignano, but he may have cooked those tires a little too much as we are here in throwback week for MNN Xfinity Series action. Brad Gunn just registered as having crashed. Let's see what happened with old Brad, as maybe he had gone down below the line and kept us green. And I don't know what happened, but Brad Gunn may have just disappeared from the server altogether. So he may have been booted from the server, as now McConville has to make that car 3 wide as he has 2 incredibly strong drivers behind him in the form of Mike Wright and, of course, Eugenio Alonso. Now, Eugenio is going to have probably the best view for this as he and Wright are going to be chasing McConville down. This is what racing is all about as we work lap number 42 on our way to 45 at Darlington Raceway here in the heart of NASCAR country in South Carolina. Eugenio Alonso chasing down Mike Wright in the 98, and at this point, Mike Wright, he's one of the best defensive drivers in this league. He's not going to give up P4 very easily. All of a sudden, McConville just checked up and allowed Wright past him, as Wright is all but dirt tracking coming out of 4 and back onto the front stretch. Here on lap number 44, we can see those standings here. Parker Retzlaff already down. He didn't make the show. As Mike McConville out of Cape May tries to hold off now Eugenio Alonso. Mike Wright just blew on past him. Savignano all nice and comfy up here. So right now it's all up to McConville to hold on to the top 5, as he's got a rear view mirror full of Eugenio Alonso out of Buenos Aires as they haul it out of turn number 4. It looks like he may lose P4 yet, as all of a sudden it looks like Eugenio was able to loosen him coming here into turn 1 at the end of the at the end of the front stretch. Oh! Contact between the 90 and the 26. That was kind of incidental. That makes the rear bumper fall off the 26, but we still go forward. That's obviously affected his aero package, as he's already wiggling coming down the backstretch and into turn number 3 here on lap number 45. Last lap of stage number 1 here. As Bennett Allen crosses the start-finish line, we're waiting for 10th place Alexander Gangler to pass. The caution flag flies, and that will wrap up stage number 1. Bennett Allen brings home the green and white checkered flag. He's followed by Anthony Savignano, Mike Wright, Mike McConville, Bobby Blazer, Eugenio Alonso, Brandon Minto, Claude Ferlin, Michael Witt, and Alexander Gangler. As we've been instructed, we're going to wait till after pit stops to talk with our stage winner, as Bennett Allen going to be bringing the field down pit road as we take a look here at the Outlier Speed Company. Number 15, that Valvoline throwback. And once he gets himself in here and secure, there is going to be Bennett Allen, driver of the number 15 Chevrolet Camaro. Hey, Bennett, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Howdy again.
Well, man, here you are at the end of stage 1. You capture the green and white checkered flag again this season. How on God's green earth did you come out of nowhere to take on Mike McConville after he was so dominant early on in this race?
I just good restarts. You know, when the tires are worn, people kind of take it a little easy, and I've raced these cars long enough to kind of know where that edge is. So got a couple good restarts, and the car fires off really good on old tires on restarts apparently, so I just took advantage of that.
Well, taking advantage of other people's weaknesses is absolutely how you get through here. 3 cautions to speak of this time around. Obviously, you made it through nice and safe. What's going to be the strategy? Did you make any changes to the 15 here for stage 2?
Yeah, about in the middle of that run, that longer run, I was pretty snug on corner exit, so I did a little bit of a wedge adjustment, and just like one click to the left rear and the right rear, and hopefully that will help. I'm not really too worried about it, though, because we have another stage break, so if all hell breaks loose, I can just change it back. So the track is pretty toasty, so I'm just trying to save my rears. But yeah, it's a relatively fast car today.
All right, my man. Well, listen, congratulations on the stage 1 win. See if you can go back-to-back here in 2.
All right, appreciate it, Mike. Or Dave. Sorry, I don't know why I said Mike. There's 2 mics behind me. That's why I said Mike.
It's understandable. I'll allow it this time, but get it straight for the next round.
All right, later, Dave.
That, of course, the voice of the great Bennett Allen, 2022 MNN Xfinity Series champion. And, of course, that was my first year with the Independence Racing Network. That was my own little hobby that kind of spawned this mess that I've gotten myself into here with Sim Racing Media. And I could not be more thankful for the opportunity that I've been given here at SRM. Ethan Ball is going to be your race leader when we go back green flag racing, as he's got the 96 Linders machine up here in the race lead. Now, he last came down on lap number 33, so those tires are about 14 laps older than everybody else's around him. Rich Jett making an unscheduled stop down pit road. Not sure what he's doing, but he's going to haul it down here and park the 77 machine. Let's see if this is just something, maybe fuel only? A splash of fuel? Ethan Ball bringing us down the back chute into turn number 3. He's going to have Anthony Savignano on the high side as Ball has opted for the low. We'll be working our way toward lap number 90 for the end of stage number 2. The iRacing.com pace car peels on down pit road. Ball going to have control of the field as we get ready to go back underway. Anthony Savignano going to ride alongside Ball to the left. Ball hits the restart zone, and away we go. Savignano just absolutely annihilated Ethan Ball's lead as he was able to just absolutely slide on by with next to no problem. Now he's going to bring along Bennett Allen, as these two drivers are going to work the low side. They've got Mike Wright behind them, and it looks like this little 3-car pack, whoa, suddenly broken up by Ethan Ball, who slides between the 50 and the 15. Here on lap 52, Dave Regal in the Sim Racing Media broadcast booth. Want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. As John Rapp says hello. Hello, John. Trent Curtis says that the throwback for Keith Black is a throwback to Bobby Allison, and even has the fire suit to match. Let's take a look at that, as I cannot wait to see this. As, of course, the 67 here driven by Sam Bolin. I'm sorry, Keith Black. I don't know why on God's green earth I went to Bolin. Here's Keith Black. Let's go right in here to the gyro cam and get a quick peek at the fire suit. Not sure if that's the throwback he's talking. Oh, my goodness. Look at these pants he's got on here. Coca-Cola checkered pants. That is the way to go, as Keith Black runs right now +6 to the good here for his track position in the number 67. So, yeah, that Allison paint scheme is definitely exactly what we want to see here on Throwback Night. While these drivers get comfortable here in stage number 2, we're going to step aside and pay some bills on Sim Racing Media. I'm Dave Regal, and this is Monday Night NASCAR.
Masker can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second part, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Bouchard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging.
Oh
and to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway, where we are under our 5th caution, 4th for cause for the evening. We'll see what happened here with Eric Papineau in the 17. I see Tony Burke goes to the low side. Papineau scrapes on by him. And the problem started with the 67 of Sam Boland. Let's see what happened with Sam. Looks like Sam and the 35 were side by side. And as they come out of 2, Sam gets hooked by the 35. Everybody goes scattering. And Papineau, while trying to avoid the wreck, just has no place to go. He was moving way too fast and just gets annihilated running in to Sam Boland, driver the number 67. Now we're taking a look here at, we're going to be looking at Nick Hansen's number 99. Now this, according to the YouTube.com live chat, from Trent Curtis says, not too far in front, Nick Hansen's 99 is a throwback to Kevin Harvick's 2015 Budweiser Darlington throwback. So a throwback of a throwback for a throwback. As we take a look here at Nick Hansen's paint, looking great from Dortmunder Gold Lager. Never heard of it, never had it, but now I'm going to have to explore with that. Then, of course, we see Brockton Packard here in the number 63 that flamed up what would have been a DuPont paint scheme right after the Rainbow Warrior era. So they're in the early 2000s. And I'll tell you what, that flamed, that almost kind of brought the Rainbow Warrior DuPont scheme to a close, you know, as, of course, then Jeff Gordon started using that as a throwback for himself. So a lot of great paints tonight here in the field as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Anthony Savignano hits the loud pedal, and we're back underway. Bennett Allen going to be in tow. He's already back a quarter of a second as he's got to hold off Bobby Blazer and Mike Wright. As we work lap number 60, 30 to go at the line here in stage number 2. They snake their way out of turn 2 and come back down the back chute side by side. Here as we look at Zachary Vaughn in the 61, he goes just underneath of Chris Claude in the Hardee's machine. You know what? I don't even know where the nearest Hardee's is here to southeastern Pennsylvania. Going to have to check that out. That's for sure. I do like a good Hardee's burger. Is that even a thing anymore? Let's take a look as we see Chris Claude's number 10 machine decked out. Looks like the 38 going to come down pit road this time by. Looks like the nearest Hardee's here to southeastern Pennsylvania is Bear, Delaware. Then there's one in Middletown, Delaware, and then the third one is out in Myerstown. I'm familiar with that one. That's the one that I used to go to back in high school when you may have had the involuntary hunger brought on by perhaps extracurricular activities, we'll say. Might have to get a hold of Mike McConville and see how far away Bear, Delaware is, and maybe that's going to be our new hangout spot. South Jersey, southeastern PA. We'll make it work as we work lap number 63 now. Whoa, there goes the 90. What in the world was that? I'm sorry, that wasn't the 90, that was Michael Astudo. In the 39, Astudo gets right into the 87 and just flipped around. My goodness. But we wind up staying green because he gets below the racing surface, luckily. And never mind, just kidding. Here we are under caution. That means Dennis Mickelson may have been involved in this, at least Richard Pruitt, Dan Morgan. There it is, the bump from Pruitt into the 27 against the 25. It is just a ricochet fest. Zach Osborne gets a piece of this one. We'll see if we can look at this from Richard Pruitt's perspective. As Pruitt backs up into the 25s, gets smacked, and takes the 16 to the face, and whoa! And the 16 still rubs him getting by. And since we were talking about it, now I've got to know, let's get a hold of old Chris Claude here, driver of the number 10, Mr. Consistency. Hey, Chris, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Hi, Dave.
Chris, I want to talk about your paint scheme. It's been a long time since I've been at Hardee's. In fact, since I was in high school years ago. It seems like a lifetime ago. The nearest one to me is in Bear, Delaware. What's the fascination with Hardee's here for the paint scheme tonight?
Well, I do like their hamburgers, but I tell you what really has me going there lately are the chicken wraps that they have, 2 for $5. And so my son and I, we get those every single Friday for lunch, and they remind me a lot of the ones that they had at McDonald's a while back that is discontinued, but I think they're even better than those. Have bigger chunks of chicken and very tasty if you like the chicken wraps.
Now, the throwback paint scheme harkens to who?
That I don't know. Honestly, don't. I saw a Hardee's scheme and I was like, that looks good. I don't know the Xfinity paint schemes as well as the Cup schemes, unfortunately.
Well, I'm gonna. You know what? Now that we've discussed it, now I have to look it up. I thought it was any
you
short,
looked
but
it up.
now I'm having second guesses.
Yeah. And you were talking about the 31 singular car, and I think that did you find out that maybe both people were right? That Robbie Gordon
did.
But, but did Robbie Gordon drive the number 7 singular? I know Jeff Burton for sure. He did have the 31 too. Okay.
Yeah, it was Jeff Burton, and then it was Robbie Gordon, and now as I'm looking at it, actually the Hardee's paint scheme was driven by Cale Yarbrough.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
the 28 back then.
I need the spirit of Cale in my system right now at this track. That's exactly what I need.
I mean, if you're going to have somebody's spirit in you, it might as well be someone who's gotten around this piece dozens of times in his career.
Absolutely.
Well, either way, the paint scheme looks great. Throwback night seems to be going really well here with the drivers. I think everybody made a really nice showing of the cars tonight for throwback night.
Both nights, really, and I'm hoping that trucks are just the same tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I liked seeing the couple of them we had last night in the Cup Series. Tonight, it seems like everybody really got on got on Trading Paints and made these things look really great. So nice job getting the league to go for throwback night.
It's always a fun time.
I'm looking at the driver's side front quarter panel, and you even have the old Winston logo, 76, STP, the old Bush logo, Champion spark plugs, peak antifreeze. My goodness, this thing really does go all the way back.
That's the idea.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck the rest of the way. Try to make some kind of success out of this. And, hey, you never know what happens here in Monday Night NASCAR. In fact, I did make sure here in the upper left-hand corner, our logo that we're running tonight is the one designed by Bob Nestor. That was the first one that we ran on the Independence Racing Network back in the day when I first opened the microphone.
Oh, wow. Now that's a throwback.
So we've got the throwback, too.
Good.
All right, buddy. Good luck.
Thanks, Dave.
You know what? Every time I say the Independence Racing Network and I think about Bob Nestor and this sport that he has gotten me into over the years, it harkens back to a simpler time before the stresses of everything that we do here at Sim Racing Media. Anthony Savignano going to have control of the field this time around, as Bennett Allen going to be on the high side. Savignano comes out here in the Liberty Toyota Supra. It's going to be 12 laps to go when the green flag flies. The man in the stand has that green flag in his hand. And as they come down the front stretch, here we go through the Geico restart zone. Mike McConville has already kind of drifted back here into 5th position. Not sure what's going on here with the one machine. He was dominant in stage 1 and now has fallen behind Savignano, Allen, and Blazer. As Bobby Blazer gets the number 90 Ford Mustang cranked up here into 3rd position. He's up 10 spots from where he had begun. Biggest mover of the night right now is Rich Jett back here in the double natural, that 77 machine. And we see he's here in that skunky yellow and orange machine. Not sure who his throwback is. I know it's got to be something simple and I've got to be missing. But Rich Jett, biggest mover now, up 20 positions. Ethan Ball in the 96 has the Linders machine. That Chevrolet up into 6th position after starting in 23rd. While Bobby Blazer just went fast time here at 30.39 seconds. 71 laps, 20 to go here in stage 2. And wow, Blazer dirt tracking coming out of turn 2 and onto the back chute. Obviously, he's not afraid. As we take a look at Ron Fitting here in the Grease Monkey number 3. Last night he was driving the Goodwrench Chevrolet, and now he goes back to the Monkey Wrench Chevrolet here at Darlington Raceway. We see Keith Black here in his number 87, and Tony Burt in the Jack Dow Motorsports number 4. And let's talk about that. Now, Tony Burt, who of course is a good friend of mine, my brother from another mother, if you will, he's out here in the number 4 Kodak machine. And, of course, that was originally made famous by the Morgan McClure Motorsports. And back in the day, that would have been Sterling Marlin, who spent a long time behind the wheel of the number 4, won a couple of Daytona 500s in that thing. The Kodak machine eventually went from being I believe, what was that, a Pontiac, I think it was? No, it was a Chevrolet, and then became a Dodge when, of course, Dodge came into NASCAR in the early 2000s, came back to NASCAR in the early 2000s. But that Kodak machine has a lot of history. Now, kids, what Kodak is of course, that was a type of camera film. And what a camera was once upon a time, what camera film is how you once upon a time had to get pictures taken. As Tony Burt looks like he's going to come down here onto the apron. Thought he was going to make a run at pit road, but he doesn't as he gets around the 01 of Matt Mackin. But, camera film, you had to take a picture. You had to take 24 or 32 photos there with the old actual camera. Wind that film back up, get it into its little canister, and take it to a 1-hour photo if you needed them quickly, or you took them to a photo lab that might have taken a day or two to get those back to you. They had to be developed, and then you got to see your pictures. It's not like today where you take a picture, you look at it, and if you don't like it, you can just delete it. But once upon a time, pictures were a lot harder to come by, and of course Kodak was the most popular name in all of camera film. Anthony Savignano still leading this piece out of Erie, Colorado. He leads Bennett Allen and Mike Wright, and Bennett Allen is just close enough that when he sees an opening, he's going to take it here and see if he can snag the green and white checkered flag in stage number 2 as we work lap 77. So we're less than 20 to go now in stage 2. 13, as a matter of fact, to go. We'll take a look here at John Wilco in the number 62. He's in the Slim Jim machine. This is the kind of night where I could use a little extra help here in the broadcast booth. Of course, having to look up and see who all of these other drivers were, because some of these were, of course, before my time. As the Slim Jim machine was once upon a time the co-primary sponsor for Tony Stewart. Then, of course, it also looks like Jason Keller way back in the hayback on a Monte Carlo. Terry Labonte for a short period of time, and this looks like the Terry Labonte number 44, 1996 Slim Jim machine. And let's see who else might have driven that. No, it looks like Bobby Labonte is pretty much it. Bobby and Terry Labonte, for some reason, are in that photo. So yeah, once upon a time it was the 44. And here it is tonight from McAdoo, Pennsylvania, and looking sharp, as a matter of fact. Anthony Savignano starting to extend his lead over Bennett Allen, 0.3 of a second now. Coming out of 2 is, it looks like Allen's, whoa! Bobby Blazer all but dirt tracking his way out of 2 once again. Let's see if he's got the same problem here on 1 as he's being harassed by Mike McConville. And Mike McConville is just pestering him every step of the way. And there he is once again with the rear end stepping out here. So obviously next to no grip on those rear tires. We take a look here at our race information. Only 120 degrees. So track temperatures only dropped a degree so far. So that's going to keep things slip sliding around here for Bobby Blazer. Under caution for the 6th time tonight for cause. As let's see what happened here. Dennis Mickelson showing up as having crashed. Let's see what happened around Dennis. As Mickelson in the 25 in the Folgers machine. Wow, the best part of waking up is not a race car in your face. As Pruitt was involved in this too. Never mind, this was the wreck before. Now I got to look back here and see what might have happened, because I don't see anything else around him. As I don't see what might have caused this one. Not sure. because I don't see anybody involved in it. Let's see if we can maybe get a little bit better of a view here. Oh, this one might have involved Eugenio Alonso. Just saw it. Here it is. The 63 gets into the wall. And, yeah, it looks like Alonso just gets a little tight into the 63, then collects the 61. Michael Witt manages to squirt on by here. So lucky for him, as he should almost be named the lucky dog for this one, that's for sure, as we go right here on board with him. Michael Witt sees this wreck breaking out in front of him. There's the 63 and the 26 making their contact. He sees the puff of smoke. He stays high. He suddenly follows. Wow. Talk about some heads-up racing as Michael Witt gets through that mess. Here in the waning laps of stage number 2, Anthony Savignano going to have control of the field. He'll be followed by Bennett Allen, Brandon Minto, Claude Ferland, our neighbor from the north, Eugenio Alonso out of Buenos Aires, Rich Jett in the double natural from Schwenksville, PA. Michael Witt, Corey Burkett, Chris Claude, and Dennis Mickelson make up your top 10. Mickelson, of course, in the Folgers machine. Of course, Tim Richmond made the Folgers paint scheme legendary, if you will. Probably one of the somebody considered to be the lost legend. And of course, in the truck series, Dean Iyer made this exciting over in the OBRL here on iRacing.com. See a couple different drivers here. It looks like Mark Martin had that on the side of the 6. The 25, of course, of Tim Richmond was sucking down the Folgers, as the best part of waking up was that Folgers in your cup. You know, of course, before the world got all fancy and decided that we had to be bougie with our coffee. In fact, let's throw that out here to the YouTube.com live chat. What's your favorite brew of coffee? Side by side they go. They hit the Geico restarts on Anthony Savignano with the jump over the field. And he is off like a shot out of a cannon, as Matt Metler would say. And it goes Savignano, Allen, and Minto just like that, as we are immediately under caution. That might as well be the stage break as we're approaching lap number 90. And according to Race Control, that will conclude stage number 2. Anthony Savignano, Bennett Allen, Brandon Minto, Claude Ferland, Eugenio Alonso, Michael Witt, Rich Jett, Corey Burkett, Chris Claude, and Dennis Mickelson all going to be awarded stage points here. And we see Corey Burkett here in the 07 United Rentals machine. Rich Jett in his double natural skunky machine. And Michael Witt, of course, in what will be my favorite paint scheme of the night, the Oreo paint scheme that Dale Jr. had driven at one point in his career. Milk's favorite cookie, as Savignano, who started P2, is now leading us down pit road. Mike McConville opting to come down on lap number 83, cycles back to the lead, so that's how he's going to regain it for now. Tony Burke going to do the same thing as he is behind McConville now, as Tony Burke going to get his lap back via the lucky dog, if you will. Savignano still trying to get off of pit road as he's got the right sides up. He lifts the left sides now. And he is just down there for what seems like an eternity. Seems like timing and scoring may be off on Tony Burke's pit usage, as it says that he hasn't been down pit road at all, which is completely incorrect. I'm trying to get a hold of Savignano. Just got to find him up here from Bandit Racing. Hey, Anthony, it's Dave up in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy, Dave. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Listen, here you sit, P1, at the end of stage number 2. Now, what's going to be the strategy here in stage 3, as it looks like you've been shuffled back a little further in the standings?
Yeah, we're back to 8th, so these 7 guys in front of us actually benefited there, besides the points that I was able to snag there. But this definitely just turned into a chess game, Dave, so I'm interested to see how it works. It's a hot, slick track. Me and Bennett have been, kind of battling it out, so I'm curious to see how we get through these guys, if we even can. But long race to go, still got some tire sets and some pit stops, so this should be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about track temperature. It's 119 degrees on the asphalt right now. It's only dropped 2 degrees since the green flag flew the initial time. I mean, and you've got, some really incredible drivers ahead of you in Mike Wright, Keith Black, of course, Bobby Blazer and Mike McConville all up in front of you. So you've got you've got your work cut out for you.
Oh, yeah. We're in for a 9 to 5 clocking in here for stage 3. So I'm excited. I'm going to get down to it and go to work here, and hopefully we'll see you at the front.
All right, brother man. Listen, good luck, and hopefully we do see you up there on that podium tonight.
10-4.
That the voice of Anthony Savignano from up there in Bandit Racing, driver of the number 90. Of course, his teammate, Mr. 305 himself, Randall Watkins, as we get ready to go back green flag racing. Mike McConville going to have the button. It's been a little while since he's had control of the field. He's got his foot hovering just above the throttle. He checks his gloves. Gets those belts all nice and tight. Nick Hansen in the 99. He's going to sit here on the inside. Drivers getting themselves settled into the cars now, as of course we always are waiting to go back green flag racing as the parade just moves on past our camera here in turns 3 and now 3 and 4. The iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. Mike McConville just about a nose ahead of Hansen, as Hansen going to have to look and wait for Mike McConville to drop the hammer so he doesn't get that black flag. We enter the restart zone. McConville hits it, and we are gone. A good, clean start for most of this field now, as almost everybody goes single file. Here on lap number 92. Now we're just working our way toward lap number 147. So just over 50 to go now. About 55 to go this time by, as Mike McConville leads the way We're going to step aside and pay some bills here on Sim Race Media. I'm Dave Regal, and this is Monday Night NASCAR.
Basket can't defend. He's got the outside line for the second spot, and he can't hold on.
Going the long way around. We're going to be 3 wide for the lead as they all come to the line. Who is going to take it in the end?
And here comes Lockwood. He's going to make the move to the outside. Quinn tries to force him off a little bit, but there he goes. It's going to be side by side through turn 1.
Will he be able to cover him off? He does. Weaving back to the left-hand side. Reynolds is trying everything. The kitchen sink is being thrown at it.
They're leaning on each other. Coming into turn number 3. It's going to be a drag race through 3 and 4. Coming back to the line. Here comes Trish on the bottom.
Richard's going to hold the inside. Tries to be the late breaker here. They're going to be side by side through the final chicane. They bang doors, but keep it clean.
As they're still 4 wide on the run down into the back straightaway. Demerit's looking for a line as well. What is going on in Michigan?
Novak into the fence. They're still beating and banging. And to the line.
He is much faster coming through there. Is there damage on Challenger? Abramitis is ahead. There's going to be a race to the line. Who is going to get it?
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Preen Garden Weed Preventer and Preen Garden Weed Preventer Plus Plant Food block weeds before they start and are safe for use around over 400 flowers, vegetables, trees, and shrubs. Best of all, they give you 3 months of freedom from weeding in just 4 easy steps. You can apply Preen anytime before or during the growing season. But since it's a weed preventer, not a weed killer, early spring is best. Here's how. Start by removing existing weeds and their roots in the area where you want to apply Preen. Sprinkle granules directly onto dry soil, mulch, or stone so that they're evenly spaced. Within 24 hours of applying, integrate the granules into the top layer of soil or mulch or stone-covered bed. Finally, water with a hose or sprinkler, or a well-timed soaking rain to activate the protective weed barrier. When activated, Preen creates an invisible weed-fighting barrier just below the soil surface that targets and prevents weed seeds from sprouting and forming roots. People and pets may enter the treated area once dusts have settled and the area is thoroughly dry from watering or first rain. That's it. Now you'll have a beautiful weed-free space and 3 months to do anything but weeding. Satisfaction guaranteed. Trusted for over 50 years, Preen is America's #1 weed preventer brand with weed preventers for every type of garden.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway here on Throwback Week on Sim Racing Media here at Darlington. Mike McConville has the #1 Wawa Chevrolet Camaro up atop the pile once again. He was your he was not your stage 1 winner, but he definitely started high in the standings. As Nick Hansen and Mike Wright, sorry, I just ate something spicy during the commercial break, and it's kind of kicking me in the mouth. And there's not enough Captain Morgan to go around to cool things back down. Anthony Salvignano just laid fast time down at 30.32 seconds. 119 degrees still the track temperature, and I don't think we're going to see it drop too much further below as we are 47 to go here at Darlington. Watching some of these battles deeper back in the field. Ken Ron chasing down Tyler Sexton in the 35. Ron has Eugenio Alonso just behind him, and Alonso looks to the high side, he looks to the low side, and he just can't figure it out. And all of a sudden he looks to the low side, he's got a run out of nowhere past the 33. It almost looked like a video game and not a simulation as he made the run on Ron as we work lap 103 of 147, working our way toward the end of this piece. Michael Astuto now in the 39. He's got John Wilco in the Slim Jim number 62 throwback behind him. He's got Corey Burkett ahead of him. He gets a run on Burkett, but he has to back out early as the 61 of Zachary Vaughn, with that mellow yellow paint scheme, a harken back to Kyle Petty and his days in the mellow yellow machine. Now working, nearly making contact with his number neighbor in the 62 as he gets around. Now the 53 of, I believe that's Daniel Moynihan. Now Moynihan down several laps, but he's still out here being competitive, while Tony Burt holds on to 24th position. He would be the lucky dog if we go, if we get back around. But right now, as the first car any laps down, it appears that he is down by 3 now. Mike McConville leading this piece now as he comes out of turn 4 back onto the front stretch. We'll follow along here as we're going to go quiet and let you folks listen to the sounds of this race as he hauls it into turn 1. 37 laps to go here at Darlington Raceway as Mike McConville leads the way just ahead of Mike Wright. Now, this is where Mike Wright does what Mike Wright does. This is what makes him such an incredible driver in this league. Mike Wright is going to just hang out and wait for an open door from Mike McConville. He's not going to race him hard. But if McConville, if he exhibits any kind of weakness, Wright is going to be there to pounce on him like a lion on a gazelle. A little loose is McConville. That opens the door for Wright to close in ever so gently as we're going to ride along here with Mike Wright. Now they can see Tony Burt up ahead of him just a little while. Or I'm sorry, yeah, it's Tony Burt just ahead of them. And looking out the back of Tony Burt is just this side of stressful, that's for sure. As he's going to be able to see those race leaders making a run on him. He's going to go down another lap here any moment. As Tony respectfully does what Tony Burt does and gets out of the way and allows Mike Wright and Mike McConville to go at it without him encumbering them on lap 113 of 147. Dave Regal with you here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth. Let's see what we have here in the YouTube.com live chat. Trent Curtis drinks the Celsius energy drink. I am a major fan of the peach mango. Young Camel says chocolate milk, proud sponsor of Jordan Anderson Racing for Celsius. I am a fan. Heather says this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Custer, you have this. Never back down. Oh my God, they really suck at commentary. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate that. Not sure who you are, but if you have any pointers that you can give us at commentary, you go right ahead and let me know what you'd like to see. Mike Wright, now your race leader, holding off Anthony Savignano as we go down here into 3 and 4. Savignano looks to the inside of Mike Wright. That's not advised as Wright is going to get a jump here out of 4 and down the front stretch. Want to thank everybody for joining us in the YouTube.com live chat. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, we appreciate all of your comments here in the live chat. Mike McConville now running in third, so just like he had happen earlier in this race, now here he is again starting to hemorrhage positions. He's got Nick Hansen about 2 seconds behind him as we go under caution, and Bennett Allen seems to have bit the big one here in the 15. Bennett Allen just underneath the Bobby Blazer catches him, and boom goes the proverbial dynamite, as that's going to turn Bennett Allen sideways and bring out the caution here on lap 117. 10th caution total, 8th for cause, as we had 2 cautions come out for, of course, the stage breaks. I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. Mike Wright going to be your race leader. Let's check in with Mike, as we often do. Let's see what he's got on his mind. Hey, Mike, it's Dave up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, give me a second.
Yep, go ahead.
I'll get you once I'm in the pit box.
Yeah, of course. As soon as I keyed up, you came down pit road. Waiting for Mike Wright to pull on down here into his pit box, as he's got the 98 leading this race right now. Pretty much doing the things that make him great at these, mile and a halfers, as this one's just shy of a mile and a half. Well, Mike, here you are going to get 4 tires and a tank of Go Fast. 20 laps to go. What goes through your mind here behind the wheel?
Try to get a good restart, clean, and not speed. And I didn't. Okay, we're good. I was making sure I got him off pit road there.
Don't trust me, we know.
Survival is this race, especially with this many cars in the race. So we've survived it. So far, I still think with 30 laps to go, there's got to be some give and take. I really dislike running side by side into one and off of two, unless it's towards the very end of the race. And as you've probably seen with some of the wrecks that have happened so far, that would have not been the case probably. And some of those people are forcing it and just kind of hanging on the outside when they don't need to. So it's tough enough to run this place by yourself. It's fun to run it by yourself. But when you get 2 or 3 wide and people shoving noses in there, it gets kind of hairy. So we're up here now. It seemed like in general, longer runs, I seem to have the pace over everybody that was in front of me. It's just track position is key. So hopefully on the short run, I can get going fast enough to keep them behind me. And I'd say we're going to have several cautions. So we'll see how that plays out.
Last night turned into a kind of a caution fest toward the end of the Cup race. Now, you and Brandon Minto at either end of the top 10. That's probably about the furthest that I've ever seen these Ferda Motorsports drivers separated. What's going to be his secret sauce to try to get up here and race alongside of you?
I think what just got him is he got some damage. I don't think he actually ever spun, but when there was one of the cautions, he got some damage he had to repair, so that kind of knocked him back. But it seemed like he was doing pretty well till then. So hopefully he's got most of it fixed and can make up a little ground here. Yeah, I mean, it's just like any track. If you get some green flag running, you tend to space out and you have a better chance to keep going. But here we are, and we are short runs to end. So that's where we're at.
All right, man. Well, listen, good luck. Thank you for the insight there from the 98. As it looks like you're going to go double file here as all of those lucky dog cars are going to have to get on by. They do, and go ahead, get yourself double filed up. We'll see you maybe here toward the end of the race. I'm sure that if you're not going to be on the podium, you'll be as close as anybody ever's come.
As long as I'm not facing backward, we'll be all right.
That, of course, the voice of Mike Wright, the what I like to affectionately refer to him as the mad scientist of Team Ferda. There's the Allen experience checking in here. Fake supporter laughing. Dang good drivers out there. Bring her home, Ron. So I'm assuming that's Ron Fitting. But, obviously Heather's got some support here in the YouTube.com live chat. Good for her. As Mike Wright going to come out of turns 3 and 4. The iRacing.com pace car makes the hard left turn down pit road. Mike Wright gets ready to come into the Geico restart zone. He drops the hammer, and off we go here with now 26 laps to go. Mike Wright being harassed by Mike McConville as he's ready to pester him, trying to use the early part of this run with that fresh grip on the tires, as cold as they are, against the hot asphalt. He's going to sit here and try to make his distance up. He can't do so, and that leaves room for the 99 of Nick Hansen bopping his way up through the line as he's going to secure his position here in P3. Drivers a little bit closer back here. Ethan Ball trying to get around Chris Claude in this battle for 13th position. Corey Burkett doing the same thing as he's trying to stay ahead of Chris Claude, as Claude is all over the bumper of the 070. Now looks to the inside. Ken Ron bites the wall and swings down here toward the infield, not far enough, as now Bennett Allen is going to try to get around our chief cook and bottle washer here in the SNN Family of Racing Series, Chris Claude and that number 10 Hardy's machine. They're battling it out, and Bennett Allen looks like he wants to just hijack this position away from Chris. I mean, he's running out of time, so he's just about at that 20 to go mark. He's going to have to make a move or do something to get up the next 13 positions. Anthony Savignano just lays fast time down at 30.06, 200th of a second behind Mike Wright on the last lap. So things obviously for these two drivers starting to heat up now as we take a look at the lap times. We see Savignano running faster than Mike Wright over the last couple of laps here. We're going to see if he can do it again, as he does run 400th of a second slower now than Wright on lap 123. Glad to have all of you with us here in the YouTube.com live chat. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe to Sim Racing Media. Turn on those bell notifications as we're on the air 6 nights a week. You've got me 4 of them. As Mike Wright leads the way, he's got Anthony Savignano looking to the inside now of the 98. Savignano trying to find his way around Mike Wright. He can't. Meanwhile, Mike McConville is trying to get around Nick Hansen, as Hansen is just keeping him back there running in 4th position, as McConville wants to battle back, as he was our pole sitter earlier tonight. He had the one sitting P1, as now Bobby Blazer dirt tracking his way out of turn 2 down the back chute as we work lap 126 here at Darlington Raceway. The Lady in Black, we want to welcome all of you here to, of course, Throwback Night at Darlington. We look forward to doing it all over again tomorrow night at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time right here on Sim Racing Media. Thank you, everyone, for checking in with us tonight. Mike Wright leading the way now, as Savignano is just 0.15 seconds behind Mike Wright. Savignano doing his best right here to try to hold things together as he's looking for a way around Mike Wright. And Mike, being up there in that clean air, obviously is having great success now in keeping Savignano behind him. But Savignano can catch a little draft here on the straightaways, and maybe he can use some of that momentum. And unfortunately, 1 and 2 is not one of those places. It's incredibly difficult to pass here in 1 and 2 as we work lap number 128 with 20 to go. Savignano makes the pass for the lead. Mike Wright just kind of has to stare at him as he makes the move. Savignano does, as he's going to ride the high side out of turn number 4. That keeps the car nice and snug underneath him. And, of course, in this league, everything is an open setup, so you can make any change that you want to the car. And the unfortunate thing is, if you've got a better setup, you're going to wind up having, a better time tonight. But a lot of this comes down to driver skill, as now Savignano once again exchanges positions with Mike Wright here with 19 laps to go at Darlington. $17 laps to go. Anthony Savignano makes the run along Mike Wright once again. So now it goes Savignano, Wright, Hansen, McConville, Blazer. But Mike Wright's not done yet. He's got a pretty good battle going here with Savignano as they come out of turn 2 down the back chute. And these guys are not going to cool it anytime soon. Eugenio Alonso doing similarly as he now rides alongside of the 07 of Corey Burkett. He keeps Burkett in the rearview mirror, while Savignano is up here waiting to exchange paint now with the 98. Bobby Blazer and Mike McConville doing battle here as Blazer's looking to get around McConville. We're going to ride along from Blazer's roof. Blazer kind of drifting back and forth between McConville and the wall. As McConville gets tight, so does Blazer, but just a little bit lower here. That's going to help his speed. Whoa! Coming out of 2, and that's going to secure away P4 as Mike McConville now hustles all the way back here into 6th position, falling out of that top 5. Dennis Mickelson looking to get around here in the 25. He's trying to get up here to Bennett Allen, as Allen and McConville have both bled all the way back into 6th and 7th position, respectively, with 13 laps to go. Ethan Ball starting to close in on Corey Burkett, as Ball looks to get around the United Rentals number 07. John Wilco and Ron Fitting getting ready to do some of the battling here, as Fitting now sits just a second ahead of John Wilco. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Eugenio Alonso looking to overtake Fitting as he gets out of the way. I'm sorry, Wilco as he gets out of the way. That's going to put Fitting in the crosshairs. And even as we ride along here with Fitting, there's a long distance between himself and Eugenio Alonso. Mike Wright and Eugenio Alonso going at it fender to fender here coming into turns 1 and 2. Another battle for the lead is broken out. It seems like every time each of these drivers loses this battle, they don't go back to their trailer, kick the tires and grump. No, they go back down to the pits and they reload and see how much more that they can do here at Darlington Raceway. Of course, the Lady in Black, the track too tough to tame, as they call it, is absolutely proving it tonight. Ten laps to go here at Darlington Raceway. These drivers in the SNN Xfinity Series have been putting on a great show for you all night long. Dave Regal in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, as we're going to take one more break here and come back for the finale of this race.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Darlington Raceway in the Monday Night NASCAR Xfinity Series. It's Throwback Week. Our logo up in the upper left-hand corner was designed originally by Bob Nestor. It was used exclusively on the Independence Racing Network. And now, of course, the Independence Racing Network is defunct. But here we are covering the same thing. Same voice, just different place where the pay comes from. As Mike Wright leads the way here with Anthony Savignano running in P2, Bennett Allen in third. Rich Jet, Nick Hansen, Mike McConville, Bobby Blazer, Dennis Mickelson, Brandon Minto, and Eugenio Alonso all make up your top 10. Getting ourselves all settled in here for the final run of this race. Mike, right now, your race leader. Mike Wright leads Anthony Savignano and Bennett Allen here with 5 laps to go at Darlington Raceway. Rich Jet runs in P4, and Nick Hansen rounds out your top 5. I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the youtube.com live chat. As all of you, of course, make it exciting to be here in the broadcast booth. It's nice to hear what you're all paying attention to, as it looks like the 63 starts to fade. Mike Wright gets the run here, but Savignano is not done yet. Savignano just drew to within less than 0.2 of a second between himself and Mike Wright, now 0.3 of a second, as Mike Wright runs the 98 out of turn 4 with 3 laps to go. Mike Wright, a dominant driver in this league, has worked his way up here in the field tonight. He qualified on the outside of row 2, now leads this piece with 3 laps to go. He's battled his way up here, and Anthony Savignano is running out of time as the caution comes out. Just as I say, Savignano's running out of time. Now Ron Fitting gets involved in something bad here with now 3 laps to go. That will trigger NASCAR overtime. Wholesale pit stops underway here as NASCAR overtime about to be triggered. Mike Wright comes on down pit road. Mike McConville sits in pit box number 1, but Bennett Allen beats everybody off here on pit road, and that opens the door for Corey Burkett, Randall Watkins, and Chris Custer to now go 1, 2, 3. Now, Corey Burkett, he's got a chance here to try to hold everybody off in the United Rentals 07. He's got Mr. 305 himself, Randall Watkins, as it looks like Watkins may be coming down pit road to give up that positioning. Chris Custer doing the same, but Corey Burkett holding strong up here, ready to try to hold off Bennett Allen. What NASCAR overtime means, folks, is that when we go back green flag racing, the green flag will fly, and we will race around again to get to the white flag. If the caution flag should fly between the green flag and the white flag, we will rack them, stack them, and do it all over again. If the white flag flies, the next flag will finish the race, whether that flag is yellow or checkered, and we will race back to that checkered flag. Corey Burkett right now has control of the field with Bennett Allen, Nick Hansen, and Mike McConville behind him. So an angry pack of Hornets as Corey Burkett looks to try to steal one from Bennett Allen and the rest of the leaders from all night long. 2 by 2 they go behind the iRacing.com pace car. As I want to remind Austin Wilson that is not appropriate to be asking in the YouTube.com live chat of one of our competitors. And that will not be tolerated on the SRM live chat as Corey Burkett leads us back here to green. We go down the backstretch one more time. Let's see if this is the final time while everybody parades down here. As, of course, a couple of latecomers here have to get in line before we go back green flag racing. And as the iRacing.com pace car comes into turn 4, he's going to make that hard left turn down pit road. Corey Burkett with control of the field for the first time tonight. Bennett Allen sits on the outside, getting a good restart many times tonight. As Corey Burkett hits the Geico restart zone, the 99 gets a little loose behind him, and Burkett is now out here to battle it out with Bennett Allen. The popsicle sticks go in the air with 2 laps to go. Bennett Allen blows the doors off of Corey Burkett, who's now holding up traffic as Mike Wright gets behind him. Mike Wright, gives a nudge to Burkett. And we are going to go under caution. And as I had said, we're going to rack him, stack him, and do it all over again. But my goodness, Corey Burkett just took a race car to the face as he was nudged out of the way by Mike Wright. Let's take a look here from the gearbox. Here's Mike Wright just going to the inside. He catches that turn of Burkett, and around he goes. We're going to look at this again from Corey Burkett's perspective as he sees the 15 work his way on by. He kind of gets out of the way, but then as he checks up, that's when bad things happen. The hood flaps go up to keep him on the ground, and that is what brings out this, hopefully, final caution of the evening. That move definitely not the average Mike Wright move, if you will, as we're going to get another quick peek at this from our chopper cam. Looking from the chopper, we can see Mike Wright behind Corey Burkett, Nick Hansen working his way past. And as Mike Wright goes to go down, it's almost like he misjudged the space between himself and Burkett and just nudged him out of the way. That's definitely not the normal kind of driving that we see out of Mike Wright. In fact, he's one of the cleanest drivers in this league. And I'm 99.999% sure that he didn't mean to do that. It just looked like more of a misjudging of space, and Corey Burkett, the loser in that battle. But at this point, all the cards are on the table, and everybody's pushing them all of the chips in as we get ready to go back green flag racing here in just a few moments. It's going to be Bennett Allen, Nick Hansen, Mike Wright, Bobby Blazer, Eugenio Alonso, your top 5. And those are going to be the drivers that we're going to watch here because they are going to be getting the hammer and tongs out early with just a few laps to go here and go ahead and take the gloves off. The iRacing.com pace car brings us out of turn 2 and gets ready to go down the backstretch. Bennett Allen's been waiting for this opportunity all night long to get himself up here into the lead and capture that checkered flag. Of course, he took the stage 1 green and white checkered flag. He'd like to turn the green to black and make this thing go here at the end, as he's going to have to hold off Nick Hansen. And Hansen, here in the 99, working his way up 6 spots after qualifying in 8th, is ready to put them all on the table. As Bennett Allen leads us into the Geico restart zone, Nick Hansen follows and gets loose, and there goes Nick Hansen. He goes backwards and shoots himself down to the inside as Hansen gets himself turned around. That opens the door for Bobby Blazer, and now Rich Jett in the 77 steals his way here onto the podium, shooting down to the inside. Wow! Is Eugenio Alonso. 2 laps to go. Bobby Blazer trying to get back to the white flag so he can secure this win. We stay green flag racing. Bennett Allen crosses the start-finish line. The popsicle sticks go down. The white flag is in the air, and we're racing back to checkers. Bobby Blazer and Rich Jett here holding it down while Mike Wright looks to try to get around Rich Jett. Mike Wright doesn't have too much time to go. In fact, less than a half lap now as we come down the back chute. Mike Wright gently pulls out here into turn number 3. This is his only opportunity now. As the checkered flag flies, Bennett Allen crosses the start-finish line and begins the celebration as Bobby Blazer and Rich Jett cross 2 and 3. Mike Wright finishes 4th. Brandon Minto finishes 5th. Ethan Ball, Dennis Mickelson, Chris Custer, Eugenio Alonso, and Cape May, New Jersey's very own Mikey Mac McConville round out your top 10. Just have to wait for Rich Jett to come on down here, but we're going to start the celebration just a little bit early here with Bennett Allen, who had the door open, and he was absolutely not going to let it close again as he celebrates here at the start-finish line. Bennett Allen, it's Dave. Do you have me, sir?
Yes, sir. Got you, Dave.
Look at you picking up the dub here at Darlington Raceway. I mean, this is the kind of place where you can make that statement win, and here you did as you finished just ahead of Bobby Blazer and Rich Jett.
Yeah, I mean, I was contemplating taking 2 on that, that pit stop. It was weird because I got turned by Bobby. I kind of watched the replay. It looked like it was more of a racing deal than anything, and it kind of got psyched out because, on that initial restart, I got doored by Bobby. I got my nose chopped off by Tony, or not Tony. I can't think of the name right now. My brain's all scrambled, but I'll scroll. Ron. I got my nose cut off by Ron, and I was psyched out, and I had to lock back in, and I got the opportunity to, drive through the field, try to be as respectful as I could, and worked out. Took 2 tires and kind of got lucky with the restarts, and we won.
Yeah, nothing like getting lucky with the restarts. You had a double overtime here, but you managed to get it done. I mean, what a finish you had tonight for the 15 in that Valvoline throwback paint scheme. Before we cut you loose tonight, as always, who helps you get it done on the 15, and who do you need to shout out tonight?
Here's thank the Outlier Speed Company, formerly known as Pay to Win. Their setups have been getting better over the course of the year. Their cup setups have really helped me out on the cup side, and this setup was a rocket ship. It was a little snug, and I like driving a snug race car at Darlington because you don't get too scared of that wall. And obviously, thank you to B-Blaze Vintage. Me and him had a little bit of beef today, but we settled it. And Bobby's a good friend of mine, and I'm always happy to run his sponsor in my race car. And of course, huge shout out to JCTV. I talked to Josh last week about iRacing because didn't get to talk to him for a while. So, yeah, man, I'm happy to get a win. I'm starting a new journey in my life by doing a CNA program. So, starting that this week. So it's just, great way to start off the week.
Well, yeah. Well, listen, blessings and prayers for your new journey. I know that it's just the beginning of a career in healthcare. So, good luck to you there, young man. And listen, we'll see you next week. I can't wait. Actually, no, I think we're off next week now that I'm thinking about it. But
yeah,
we'll see you there. And listen, congrats once again here on the win at Darlington.
Thanks, man.
Now we're going to have a chance to talk to Bobby Blazer here out of York, PA, representing the 717. Hey, Bobby, it's Dave. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Well, look at you bringing home the old B-Blaze Vintage number 90 onto the podium here for P2. How do you find yourself here tonight? And it has been quite a battle after you qualified 13th.
First off, shout out Austin at Money House Graphics for this very nice ET B-Blaze Vintage throwback Kevin Harvick paint. Shout out Cacti for keeping me hydrated this evening. And big shout out Bennett. I feel bad because I kind of had some incidents with him that were just kind of racing deals. But if there's anybody else other than Mike or Brandon or Michael that I would want to have win this race, it would be Bennett Allen. So big shout out Bennett Allen. And I don't know how I got here, but I'm here and I'm talking to my boy Dave Regal. So shout out Dave Regal.
Listen, man, I can't believe that you found yourself all the way up here. I mean, it's been quite a battle, and I'm always excited when I see the B-Blades Vintage paint schemes out here on the racetrack. I love the BT here tonight. It just looks downright cool here, and, it was an incredible race. I mean, we've got another week off next week, but, I know that eventually we're going to hit that long run of the season where we just don't have any off weeks. So any interest in being full-time again, or is this still just some special events for you?
Man, when I started racing this again, I wasn't sure if it was going to be special events or how often it was going to be, and then I just had so much fun that I started coming back again and again and again and again and again. So, honestly, bro, I'm not going to be home for the next few Mondays and Tuesdays. Obviously, next week's an off week. I'll be at the Indy 500. I'm really excited for that. But I don't know, man. Like, I don't know when I'll be back, but I hope when I come back, it'll be a lot of fun, and it's really cool to see this league blossom, frankly, blossom into what it has. I know Chris and yourself has done a lot of broadcasting wise, and Mike Wright has become an admin and such. Like, I understand how hard it is to kind of have a league like this. So to have, we're booting real Xfinity drivers out of the series, out of the session. Like, man, I'm telling you, like, it's cool to see how far the league has come. And tonight was a good race. It wasn't as clean as maybe some people would have hoped, and I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I was a saint this evening, but I was just going, man. Like, I was just trying to do my best. So to see what this league has blossomed into after being a part of it full time pretty much about 2 years ago, and last year being super part time, and this year anticipating being part time into becoming pretty regular, like. It's cool to see what everybody's doing, and obviously what you've blossomed into, Dave. And I'm just hyped, man. So I hope I can be here as much as it as possible. But shout out everybody that's involved: Chris, Mike Wright, big ups Bennett for the win, and big ups you for all the work you've put into it. And I remember when you were just kind of starting out, so to see you have the opportunities you have, is cool. So. I'm just hyped to be here, man. I'll be here as much as I possibly can be from this point forward.
All right, my man. Well, listen, I appreciate the kind words, because I mean, what we do here at Sim Racing Media means a lot to me, and it helps me doing what I do in terrestrial radio, of course, on 105.5 WMGH. So I'm always glad to be able to take this and translate it into the real world, which is what all of us are always aspiring to do. So thank you for everything, and we'll see you when you come back here. I know that this league is like a magnet, and it draws you right back in. So congrats, man, and we'll see you when you come back.
Yes, sir. I'll be here when I can be here. So I appreciate you. I'm proud of everything you've done, man. Honestly, you've given this league a platform, and I wouldn't want anybody else broadcasting this league or any other sort of company broadcasting this league. So I'm happy for you, man. I know how much work you put into this. So to see it blossom into what it has for you means a lot to me. So, hell yeah, man.
All right, man. Listen, good night and good luck.
Yes, sir.
That, of course, the voice of Bobby Blazer, my fellow Pennsylvanian, and another Pennsylvanian finishes on the podium tonight. Rich Jett driving the double natural. That's 77 out of Schwanksville. Hey, Rich, it's Dave. You got me?
Hello.
Hey, man, listen, you bring the 77 onto the podium after starting in 36th position. How on earth does one do that in this league?
Patience and getting up there slowly with a lot of patience, I guess.
So, in other words, the keys to tonight's race was absolute patience. And I mean, listen, you managed to get through, these 33 spots to climb up here onto the podium. It had to be tough getting through traffic. I mean, to me, a lot of times, especially at the restarts, it almost looked like rush hour on the Schuylkill Expressway. Take us through that, and how did you manage to knife through there besides patience?
Had to really build up the run, set up passes. It might take one or two laps to even see where the guy ahead of you is kind of getting a slower bit of a run. And then you got to really get that momentum built up. I mean, I think my best times were getting off at turn 2. I get the best runs on the other guys ahead of me. And just take one at a time. You settle back in. Don't kill yourself. Get to the next guy. Let them just fall back to you more or less.
Yeah, man. I mean, you were an absolute demon on the racetrack tonight in the double natural. I could not be more excited to look up and all of a sudden see you crawling here onto the podium. Before we cut you loose tonight, who do you need to thank? Who helps you get it done on the 77? And who do you need to shout out for this run?
John Wilco painted up a great throwback scheme to Dave Blaney and Ryan Blaney when they ran the fuel wrap car in 2012. Thank you guys. Thank Chris, all the admins that put the races on, all the other fellow drivers. There was a lot of there was a little more realities, I think, than we wanted, but there was still a lot of good racing I've seen from other guys as well. So it wasn't all a loss. Everybody involved with this is there's a lot of fun times, and as patient as we're being, we're finally getting some fun races, some good results, I think.
Yeah, it's always really cool when you get to see the results of weeks and weeks of discipline and patience and practice. And, obviously that paid off for you here tonight. So congratulations on the P3 finish tonight. I know that we've got the off week coming up, but, as we get deeper into the season, you're the only person I've gotten a chance to ask this of tonight. We're off next week, but then we come back for Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 200 lapper. What's going to be the mindset after having an off week?
I'm kind of running all three at some points, so it's nice to have a week off. Definitely plan some things, reset your mind. Not overdo it. Some of these races go pretty late in the night for me, and that random time where it's not happening is definitely appreciated. But it's a long season. I think I'm looking more forward to the short tracks coming up, and just go from there and be patient as best as I can.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. It's 10:39 here in PA, so we've of course got to get out of here because 5 a.m. comes awful early for some of us here. So congrats on the P3 finish, and we'll see you in 2 weeks at Charlotte.
Thank you very much.
That the voice of Rich Jett, driver of the double natural, that number 77. He comes across the line third tonight, finishing on the podium yet again this season. Rich Jett has had quite a turnaround of his career here in the SNN Xfinity Series. But before we get out of here, we want to take one final look at our results here from Darlington. Bennett Allen brings home the checkered flag and is joined on the podium by Bobby Blazer and Rich Jett. Mike Wright finishes in fourth, with Brandon Minto rounding out the top 5. Ethan Ball finishes in 6th, while Dennis Mickelson comes home in 7th. Chris Custer brings home 8th position, while 9th goes to Eugenio Alonso. Mike McConville rounds out your top 10 out of Cape May, New Jersey, as he comes home in the number 1 car from JRTCR. Corey Burkett finishes in 11th, with Randall Watkins, Mr. 305, coming home in 12th position. 13th goes to Brockton Packard, while John Wilco out of McAdoo, Pennsylvania, finishes 14th. 15th position goes to Tyler Sexton, with Nick Hansen in 16th, Ken Rod in 17th, Michael Witt in 18th, with Zachary Vaughn and Tony Burt rounding out your top 20. Anthony Savignano and Chris Claude come home 21st and 22nd, with 23rd going to Sam Bolin. Ron Fitting, Aaron Mack, Michael Astuto, Dan Morgan, Daniel Moynihan, Claude Furland, and Keith Black finish out your top 30, while Matt Mackin, Zach Osborne, Alexander Gangler, Richard Pruitt, Eric Papineau, and Andrew Deemer, along with Brad Gunn and John Bawalda, make up the rest of the best here on Monday Night NASCAR. Noah Hamilton, Parker Retzlaff, and Gary Wright unable to qualify for this event, so unfortunately they will have to make another run at it when we come back in 2 weeks to Charlotte. So for myself, Dave Regal, here in the Tony Trapasso Memorial Broadcast booth, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening, making us a part of your night here. Thank you for welcoming us into your home and onto your phones, and however you may be listening to us on Sim Racing Media. And tomorrow and every day as you walk down the road of life, please don't play in traffic. Good night, everybody.